Hello everyone and welcome back to our Xeelo call. Today we will go through a couple of features and a couple of incidents, and then we will check new articles on our Xeelo forum if we have something new. So yeah, let's start with a new features. Actually, I listed all features here on the second screen, so don't be disturbed that I will switch between those screens. So the first incident or first feature is quick edit of user custom filters. So let's take a look at it. Into user particular object, and here you can see the client filters, and on the right side you can see the black one is custom filter created by me. You can see that we have a new icon wheel. Whenever you click on the icon, you can specify the parameters of the filter. So for example, you can add a new object line, or you can adjust the current object line. So for example like that, and we can apply the filter. So it means you will adjust the filter in live, you know. So whenever you want to, for example, change the detail that should be applied, for example, overview to yes, you need just click on the icon and adjust the filter, that's it. Before you had to go to main settings, select the filter, adjust it, add it, and then click on the filter. So it's the improvement. Next feature is about modal window whenever you closing the request. So let's take a look at it. Let's open some request. Whenever you do any changes here, so for example, let's change those two, and whenever you click on back button or service desk or breadcrumb, I mean navigation, you should get a modal window with warnings like that that warn you that you lost the data if you close the request. So is the next improvement or next feature. The third one is about client date add calculation. So let's take a look at our forum. There is already a description of it. So let's select client calculation. And here you can see that, yeah, here it is. Before we could add some additional value to the current date according just a number as a third parameter of the calculation. So first one is interval, the second one is date that should be adjusted, and then there were a number as additional value. Now you can set not the number but object line that contains the number. Yeah, makes sense? Hopefully, yeah. So interval here is day. The date that should be adjusted is 1557, and the additional value is located in ID 1558. All right, let's take a look at the next feature. Next feature is about label translation. Okay, let's go back into administration, and you already know that we have a label translation tile in administration. Just select the tile, and you can see that we have info column in here in new info column. You can see, for example, I will find some normal example. Yeah, here we go. You can see that we have access request active. We have checked translation for that, and imagine that you have just those two values. You don't know what is the location. So that's the reason why we have here info panel. You can see that it's subgrid line. So in info panel, you can see that the object line or object subline is located in user object. Then in profile list, that's the subgrid. Then general, it's the tab, and finally the last general, it's section. Yeah, so you know the location of the object line or object subline. All right, let's go to the next feature. Add modal window for a default value memo object line. All right, it's pretty easy. We just add a editor for, or HTML editor for particular line, so particular memo line. So whenever you click on memo, you can see the default value could be set through the HTML editor. So whenever you specify something, you can add obviously some HTML, close it, save it, and here we go. You can add HTML into memo. So next feature is about user widgets. We have now user widgets in our user environment. Here in dashboard, you can see that we have, so far we have one type. It's just a listed request from the object. Whenever you want to create a new widget, you just click on plus. You select task item grid, and here you can see widget type. It represents width of widget. Actually 4 represent those widgets. You will see that, alright, 4 means you can see, it's like object line. You can see that you will have 3 widgets here right next to them. Whenever you select, for example, 8, you will see that widget will be wider, and those 2 widgets, whenever they will have width 8, they will be 2 underneath. Yeah. So all right, let's make a live example. So grid 4, widget name, for example, asset from user management. Okay. We can select particular color. You can select source. It means different filters. It's the same like in object. Then you need to select particular object. So for example, as the asset. And now you can see that we have here a custom filter. You can select those 2, and grid rows. It means how many grid rows should be displayed. Yeah. So all right, let's keep it this way. And now you can see all widgets that you have already configured, and actually current widgets that you can see. You just need to click on plus, and you can select obviously between the location of the widgets. So click on apply, and now we can see a new widget here from the asset. You can see obviously the grid on grid. Whenever you want to specify the on grid, you can do that in administration, in object, in particular object, for example asset, and in on grid. There is a default general on grid settings or configuration, and underneath we can see that we have my task, all tasks, my items, relation, and so on. What we would like to describe is all items, all tasks, all my items. We select all items in our widget, I guess. Hopefully, yeah. So we can adjust widget for width or type for all items. Yeah. So whenever you add something, the on-grid of the widget will change. Yeah. So and reload, and here we go. We have different one. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. Mobile. Allow device registration from email. Okay, now you can register a mobile device through the email or through the QR code. QR code is the old way, email is the new one. So you can do that from user environment in mobile devices. You can send a register using email, or from administration, from users, particular user, and here we have a new tile mobile device or mobile devices, and you just click on the register using email. So click on it, yes, and here we go. An email will be sent. Okay, in mobile application, you just open the email. Here we go. And you can see that there are two links, one for iOS registration link, one for Android registration link. So I click on iOS because I have an iPhone, and it will open you, if you have installed already application, it will open the application and automatically register. Yeah, here we go. You can see that I have service ticket here. Everything is set. And in mobile devices, in administration, I have new device here. Okay, next one is mobile application, extend mobile application with input mask for text box. So what you can do is actually you can go to administration, objects, service ticket, lines, and as usual you can set title here and insert some input mask that will allow you to use it in mobile application as well. Alright, next one is IMAP and MS Exchange email connector for DeX. So data exchange, let's take a look into administration, and I have some DeX already created. So let's take a look into connectors, add new one, and you can see that we have here connector for IMAP, actually, IMAP reader. So you can read emails according to the settings, the IMAP settings or protocol. And the second one is Exchange reader. So it's the same one. You just populate a form of configuration, and then you can connect. All right. Then the next feature. What is the feature about? Grid with task runs should contain in next column with flag. Yeah. All right. So in task run, right, my bad, sorry. You will see the flag if the result failed or was successful or was empty or transferred data already. Yeah, so you can see all of them here in the result. Next feature is task run step data changes. Yeah, it actually adjusts the screen. You can see that task run steps is now smaller, and you can see more of the data. I can't see any data, unfortunately. Maybe I can add some data exchange. Okay, for example, guesty. Add a new one for me. Save. Here we go. Task run. You can see some data, and it is scrollable, and you can see what data went through and so on. Yeah. Okay, make scrolling, insert data. All right. The last one is about a new endpoint connector. Actually, you should notice that we have endpoint in Xeelo, which actually accumulates the data and provides a push function into Xeelo database. And it's on endpoint, the data are accumulated, and then data exchange transfer the data from the endpoint to a proper object. Yeah. So how does it work? You just need to set endpoint. You set the name of endpoint, data type of the endpoint, authentication, and so on. And don't forget about allowance IP. You will see here the connector. Whenever you click on the connector, you can see that there are some data in it. And then you need to set DEX, data exchange, with connector, Xeelo endpoint, JSON, or base64 or XML. Base64 is used for images and data as its form, JSON and XML. You can see that here is the endpoint URI, and you can define obviously connection timeout and authorization. If you specify token, you need to transfer the authorization token from the endpoint settings. Yeah, and then you will get the data from the endpoint into Xeelo. You just set the endpoint step, then transform the data and import to Xeelo. You can take a look here. You specify a result path as a node where it should start to get data, and then you specify the data in the node. Yeah. For example, I got a service ticket here, like result path, and output. It was custom output, or it is custom output, and I specified few parameters there, like type, title, short description, and ticket number. I will show you what I'm sending to at the endpoint, and you can see that service ticket is just a node, and then inside is type, title, short description, and ticket number. And actually I will get it from the endpoint, transform it into importable format, and import into Xeelo, and that's it. All right, let's take a look at incidents now. We have a couple of incidents here, so let's take a look. First incident is about extension of unique check to work across multiple fields. Okay, you can specify it now, for example in subgrid, that which field should be unique. It's not a new feature, but now it will be used the combination of unique fields as a unique row in subgrid or an object. Yeah. So the combination of all of them compare with each other with the rows in subgrid. All right. Next one is improved Polish translation in user filters. Okay, let's go to user environment, change the language, do check. And let's go to task, into our service desk, service ticket, and here you can see custom filter. In custom filter, when you click on the wheel in the settings, you can see that all of settings except the data settings is in Czech language. Yeah, so priority, template, action, and so on. Yeah, all except the data. Right, next one is export Excel download all records from main grid even when filters applied. So I will switch back into English. Whenever I select the filter on grid and click on action and export, I will get only filtered values or filtered requests. Alright, next one is missing language mutation on offline approval, additional non-icon styles for offline action. Okay, let's take a look in notification. Yeah, we have approval notification here. So when you have on your user, when you have selected the language on different than English, you will get those labels or titles translated into your language that is set on user. The same for the language, the same for the non-icon style offline action. Yeah. Alright, the next one. Report result placeholder not working with language. So let's take a look onto at forum xeelo.com. You can see here we can find placeholders, and we have report result placeholders. So this placeholder now works with language translation. So actually you can see the headers differently for English and Czech. Alright, the next one is function that can do array replacement. So actually you can see that we have a new function in Xeelo that allows us replace in the string particular symbols. For example, in the string it will replace A for 1, B for 2, or C for 3. So the result will be 1, 2, 3, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Yeah. Pretty simple and easy one. Next one. The next feature is request offline action hash as placeholder in notification. Alright, we have a new functionality, or second way how to send approval request to offline notification. Yeah, so the same actions like we have here, like approve and disapprove, can be sent differently only in like a link. I will describe it on forum, and if you are interested, in description just find request offline action hash on forum. Yeah, Xeelo forum. Alright, next one is user password should not be automatically reset when user account is created. Okay, in administration and user, whenever you created a new user, the password was automatically created and send it to email. Now you have to create a user and then send password through the button. Yeah. Okay, the next one and the last one is performance issue with relations. Okay, relations, you know relations. For example, let's take a look here in service ticket. We have action relations here, and you can see all the relations in relations diagram. Yep. Those relations are calculated each time you say the request, and actually it was fastened a little bit. So recalculation of request are less demanding of performance. All right, it's all from Xeelo features and incidents, and now we can take a look at Xeelo forum, where we can see that there are a lot of new articles, especially questions. You can see that we have a new Xeelo GDPR documentation on the forum. We have described all new connectors on forum, especially endpoint connector for DEX, and then a few other interesting articles are here. So yeah, a lot of articles from tip and tricks actually. So keep focus on forum. If you don't know any way how to do something, please ask in questions and answer. Otherwise, you will find information in administration section and in whole knowledge base, even here in installation.